What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown. Tyler, I know we're being overshadowed by the NCAA tournament, but we've still been able to find some winners. Yesterday, the Kings got it done for us, and your under got it done for us. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I gotta give a shout out to our guy Gregory Russo in the chat. He was screaming, "Take the points" with all the teams yesterday, and boy was he right.
Yeah, we just talked about it, but favorites covered every single game. Underdogs covered every single game but two. The Cavaliers game, they fell short, and in the Timberwolves game, they fell short. But it was a dog day, and you know what I'm thinking, Tyler, right? The underdogs won in Star Wars. Luke blew up the Death Star. Sorry for the spoilers. But then the Empire strikes back, and I have a feeling that it might be like that today. I feel like it's going to be a chalky day, but let's jump into it and see if we can identify where the value is, where the winners are, and the plays we need to make. The first game that we got starts at 3:30 your time, 12:30 my time. It'll be going head to head with all this fun college basketball we've got as we look to see the stars of the new NBA in the future here, watching this tournament. But we got NBA to cap and NBA to break down. The Hawks getting 4 points in Los Angeles, total 219.5. What are you thinking, Tyler?
I mean, this LA team's been rolling as of lately, but I think this Hawks team's a bad matchup for them. I think the front court they have a little bit of an advantage with Collins and Capella. I think they can have their way today. LA hasn't been defending point guards very well. I mean, I know they have Schroeder back and he is great defensively. Point guards have been their weakness.
It's so
So if
wild to
Trey
hear
Young gets
Schrader be
going,
great defensively when people say that because I'm watching and he is, but he used to be so terrible. So
yeah, I know
it
he
just
finally
goes to
picked it
show
up.
that if you're bad, you can turn it around.
But
But
yeah,
keep going, keep
small.
going with the breakdown.
But yeah, small lean to the Atlanta side. I like the under more here as you get two slower paced teams that are playing great defense. But that's where if you had to pin me down on a pick to this game, it'd be the under. I'd just leave the side alone.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So when I originally looked at this game, right, and ran the numbers, I thought I was going to like LA, and part of it was I was also thinking, like you say, they're going to have problems stopping Collins. How do you think Atlanta handles LeBron? I think that's going to be an interesting
Oh,
issue.
that's there
Seems
is
like
no
he'll
way for them
feast,
to
right?
handle him. With no Reddish, no Hunter, those are your two guys, two bodies that you throw at him. I mean, Kevin Huter, Danilo
Too small,
Gallinari, Tony
too
Snell,
slow.
like there's no one there.
I guess Tony Snell would be your best option, but he's going to feast on Snell as
Yeah,
well.
he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, so that was my main concern here in grabbing the points. But do you think that they're able to overcome that, huh?
Yeah, I think they can keep it close.
What are you expecting from Trey Young? He's been averaging 26 and 9. Do you expect to have another big game?
I think he has probably above 20 points, maybe close to that average. Maybe he gets like 23. I think his assist numbers will up here. I think you see double digit assists.
All right. And is there any props for this game that you're going to attack?
The one I like is Collins over 17 and a half points. I mean, he scored 18 plus his last three. He should get a solid matchup in this game. And they played this same matchup on February 1st with AD in the lineup, and he scored 22 points. So if he
All
draws
right.
Markieff Morris, I'm pretty sure he can score more than 22 points.
I did not do well with props yesterday, but I should have listened to you. You told me Anthony Edwards was not going to go over. And that was the case as he was completely shut down by the double teams. But I'm with you there today. I just placed it over 17 and a half. You can get it for minus 110 at Bookmaker right now. So that seems to be a great play. And you like taking the points there. Oh, gosh, I'm really undecided there. I like Lakers when I first looked at it.
I would rather bet the
Numbers
under in
say
this game.
Lakers.
Small lean to the Atlanta side.
Unders are always great in these early games too. The question is, do we go first half under or full game under?
I go full game.
All right, under 219 for the first half. I'm seeing 111. So I might even dabble on both. But let's check out the other games and see if we can find something that we are more steadfast about, that we're feeling better about, that we think is a better play. Let's talk about my team, the Sacramento Kings, who looked great last night against the Boston Celtics. Boy, I'll tell you what, Tyler, I didn't do it. I should have sprinkled that money line. They were in control the whole game. They just wow. I mean, they have more depth than a Boston team that's supposedly like a title contender. Obviously, the starters for Boston are better, but when the Kings went to the bench, they just had more in store for them, which frankly was surprising to me, even as a Kings better. So they handle the Celtics quite easily. Now they face a tougher task with the East leading Sixers, who are 28-13 right now. They lost 109 to 105 in overtime the other night. They obviously covered that. The Sixers are 18-4 at home. What do you think here? I kind of think that this is going to be a lit down spot for the Kings coming off that big win over the Celtics. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the total sticks out to me more than anything. This is another under spot for me.
Oh,
I
really?
mean,
Okay.
we seen them hang the two. What was that? 234. That game opened up last night, and it slowly dropped down to right around 230 before the game started, and then they
Mm-hmm.
finished with a score of 107 to 96.
Yeah.
And now you're getting a better defensive Philly team coming in with Sacramento on tired legs. I'd rather hit the under here because I think if it's going to go over, you need Philly to blow them out of the gym and score 125 plus.
And you're not worried about the absolutely terrible defense that the Sacramento Kings play?
No, I mean that's what I mean. Like they're going to have to score 120 plus points for this to go over. And I think Philly's defense is just going to be all over Sacramento. I don't see them scoring 110 plus points to push it over.
All
And
right.
as for the
Well,
side, I mean, I lean Philly. I think they'll get enough stops to pull away and win this game by about 8.
yeah, it's tough because obviously the projections tell you to take the Kings here, but the situational spot, I don't know. I think it's rough to take this team coming off such a big win. I don't trust them. They say the only thing worse than handling failure is handling success, and I think that we've seen that with this team here in the past. Is they'll have a tendency to pat themselves on the back a little too much after wins. So I like Philly here, but I think that you're right. The under might be the best play of the whole game. So I'm seeing 230 right now. It sucks that we're not getting the best of the number, but I think I will join you on that one. Let's go ahead and talk about a game that, boy, uh, Andrew Wiggins had fun last night in Memphis. It's the Warriors 22-20 taking on the Grizzlies, who are 18-20. The Warriors were able to win last night, coming off a 40-point slate busting style from Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he was on the winning lineups for sure, and now they're going to basically just run it back. I see no Curry still. Very doubtful tonight, and I doubt it. Oubre played last night, but he only had 4 points, so he might just take the night off as it seemed like he wasn't 100%. Kevin Looney was someone I had in my lineup. He had a little fire next to his name. He had 11 points. And Valanciunas was someone who I considered putting in my lineup due to the fact that, the Warriors' bigs were so hurt and he didn't play well at all. So, what do you think here? I kind of like the zigzag. I think the Grizzlies bounce back. I think last night was I don't know if aberration is the right word, right? But everything went right for the Warriors. I don't expect Wiggins to do that again. What do you think about this game? And do you agree with me that laying the points with Memphis is the right move?
I mean, I think so, but I just can't get a good read on this Grizzlies team, nor do I like them.
Yeah.
So this is just a stay away from me.
Okay.
I mean, that is a tough performance for Golden State to replicate with Wiggins scoring 40. But
Yeah.
you also, I think Draymond put up a goose egg for points yesterday. I think he had 0.
Let me double
So
check that.
it was either 0 or 2. I know that. So I mean, I think you get a better game out of him
He had a
today.
lot of points in DFS, so he must have done other
Yeah, he
things
had a
quite
double
well.
double outside of points. I think he had 11 rebounds.
That's so Draymond.
I think you might get maybe even a triple double out of him today because he's definitely going to score the ball more. But I mean, the performance out of Wiggins, I don't think you get that same one, but the volume will be there. And Jordan Poole put up, I think, 23 points. That'll be another tough performance to replicate
Yeah,
for
he
them.
had 25 last night. He was in all the winning lineups as well. Fortunately, he was in the Run Pure core, so I had him in most of the lineups that I made. Yeah, Draymond Green, 2 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists. So, yeah, I like Memphis here. I like the bounce back. I like the zigzag. When you're making the lineups, though, how do you feel about going back to these guys that completely showed out like throwing Wiggins back in the lineup? I mean, do you just think that's a one-off, or hey, like it went well, like let's keep it rolling? Like, what will be your attitude towards that, especially if you're only building a couple lineups?
I mean, he's definitely going to be the big usage guy on this team with the other guys still out.
Hmm.
So, I mean, everyone's going to plug and play him. I mean, he could definitely have another great game, but I mean, it's Andrew Wiggins we're talking about. I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to.
know.
I
I
don't
didn't
want
put
to.
him in there
I
last
don't
night
want
because
to
I didn't
tell you he's
trust
going to
him.
get you 25, 6, and 4, and he goes out there and gets you like 15, 2, and 1.
Yeah, I think it's really tough. I mean, I get, I get, I guess you kind of have to put him back in there because it's such a short slate. But I don't think there's any way he replicates that 66-point performance. Do you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But would it surprise me with all the usage? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, this is his chance to shine. I mean, obviously he's an often maligned player. Never really lived up to his potential, and I know Timberwolves fans are kind of upset with Edwards because they see kind of the same things that they do with Wiggins with the extreme athleticism, but it not translating into statistics, efficiencies, and wins. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Did you have a look feel on the total there of 219?
I mean, it's right around that number. Like, what do you call it?
I
That
hate
like
that middle
spot where you
range.
just don't want to bet it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like right
the
in
numbers right.
that middle spot. So I mean, if this was
All
a
right.
couple points higher, I'd like the under.
Hmm. What do you think? Do you think Valanciunas bounce back tonight? Would you be looking at him for props or DFS? Tyler, did you freeze up on me? All right, Tyler
Can you
is
hear me?
frozen. Yeah, there you go. What's up? Valanciunas, did you hear the question? All right, we're losing Tyler. I will let him jump back in as I go on to preview the next game. That's the San Antonio Spurs, who are 22 and 16, taking on the Bucks that are 26 and 14. It's surprising that their records are so close. Um, Tyler, are you there with me? Did we get you back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back, huh?
All right.
All right, let's just forget Valanciunas. Let's talk about the Spurs. Let's talk about the Bucks. This is the game that I like the underdog the most in. The Spurs are playing so well, and in fact, Milwaukee's playing well too here. But 9.5 just seems to be way too much. I have this number at 6. I mean, come on. So this was my favorite dog of the day. San Antonio, boy, how many? They got 3 wins in a row, albeit over Detroit, Chicago, and Cleveland. Let's see what happens when they step up in competition. And the Bucks are coming off how many wins in a row? 5 wins in a row over Memphis, New York, the Wizards, and Philadelphia. So both teams kind of been feasting on the bottom of the league lately. But do you agree with me that 9.5 is too much, and we got to take the points in this game?
I mean, yeah, I think the Spurs are in a nice spot here. My only worry is I don't know who guards Giannis for the Spurs team. I mean, DeMar DeRozan too small, Keldon Johnson too small, Jakob Hurtle too slow. So there's going to be no real matchup for him. He's definitely scoring 30 plus, I think, today.
You don't think they'll just do like the wall and just double team him the whole game?
I mean, at that point, you're letting them guys just chuck threes, and if they get going from out there, they're putting up 130 points.
So from what I'm hearing now, you sound like you want to lay it with Milwaukee.
I mean, part of me does, but I think I found a spot I like better. I like
Okay.
their team total over 120.5.
Wow,
I mean,
against
they've
that
topped
Spurs
that in 2 of
defense,
their
huh?
last 3 games when they played the Spurs at home.
Okay.
And in 3 of their last 4, they've topped that number this year.
All right.
And they do go to that wall form like you think,
Mm-hmm.
and they let them guys just chuck threes. I think they fly over that number. And they'll also have PJ Tucker in the lineup for the first time tonight.
Yeah, how do you think it affects their team overall? Especially, let's talk about playoff ramifications.
I think it helps their defense.
It's huge, huh?
Yep. I
And
think they
like
could.
I mentioned in one of my tweets at the Run Pure account, I think another key thing to that pickup is it kept him away from Philly and Brooklyn, right? 2 teams where he could have given Milwaukee problems, right? And
Yeah.
like they were joking around, Giannis said, "Thank God, now I don't have to deal with you guarding me anymore." When he got there, so I think that it's almost like addition by keeping him away from the other teams.
If he would have went to Brooklyn, that'd have been devastating for Milwaukee.
Yeah, and it might still be. I mean, obviously Brooklyn's still the clear-cut favorite, assuming that Durant gets healthy. They've been really playing so much better as a team. Milwaukee kind of has all the pressure taken off them now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they're kind of flying under the radar with how good Philly's playing
Yeah,
and the way Brooklyn looks with all their star players.
yeah. All right, so I was going to take the 9.5 here. You like the team total a bit more. Let's talk, and this is kind of going back to our Wiggins conversation. Keldon Johnson was a slate breaker last night. He had like what 20 something rebounds.
Yeah,
Um,
21 rebounds on and 23 points.
right. So it's almost like the Wiggins question. Do we go back to Keldon Johnson tonight, or do you think that was just like a one-off?
I mean, I think we talked about the Spurs guys with Mango before.
Hmm.
I mean, we just don't play Spurs guys because they just eat into each other's usages.
Well, we're gonna have to have Kay Fallick on the show then because Kay Fallick loves the Spurs, and he has the charts to prove it. So I'll send you some of those charts. They're
Yeah, I'll
awesome.
say
You
I
should look
definitely
them
got
up.
to see those charts, but I
Yeah,
mean,
once Kay Fallick gets going, I wish he was watching right now, but I know that they are busy with all their college basketball. And I know Kay Fallick's a busy guy, but we'll reach out to him and get him to send you some of those charts because I know he likes playing the Spurs, but some of the other guys don't. So you're saying keep Keldon out of my lineup? It's not happening again.
yeah, I would keep him out. I mean, would it surprise you if DeJounte Murray and like Derek White go out there for the Spurs and they're the key guys tonight?
Yeah, I'll be really curious if you run it back with Wiggins and Keldon, how well you run. If you're doing like 10 or more lineups, it might be worth it just to put them in one to see if they can repeat the performance. I think that Wiggins is probably more likely to repeat the performance, though, rather than Keldon Johnson. Would you agree?
Yeah, because he's going to get all the usage.
Yeah,
We know he's going to be their main guy.
yeah.
Like
And
Steph's not getting pulled off the injury report and showing up tonight to take the usage away.
and the thing about Keldon's performance was the rebounds, right?
Yeah,
I mean, 23 points. I mean, that's not crazy. If he went for 23, 4, and 4, right? It would have been a normal night. He would have had the fire next to his name, but he wouldn't have been on the winning lineup. So yeah, I think this is for a 10-point game. This is one of the more interesting games I believe that we've seen in a while. That's getting close to double digits on the spread because I really want to see this game, and I think that the Spurs are the quietest 22-16 team that I've seen. I mean, we don't talk about them at
I
all.
mean it's a Spurs spread. This is how they've always been. They
It's
would
true.
finish the season with
That's true.
60 wins and everybody would just go right past them.
That's true. I guess this is more on me. The fact that I just written them off. Um, I just didn't expect a lot from them this year. I thought this was the year that everything caught up to them and they would get a top 10 draft pick. But no, Popovich proven that he's still got it and he knows how to develop these young players because none of these guys are top picks, and he always makes them look good. For example, I was thinking about putting Devin Vassell in my lineup tonight. What do you think of him?
I mean, that's one of their bench guys, so I mean he's gonna come off the bench and get some usage, but it's just hard it's hard to gauge with these Spurs guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that he's so good. I think if he wasn't with San Antonio and he got some more run, he could have given Tyrese and LaMelo a run for the rookie of the year stuff. But we know that Popovich does like his veterans. Kind of like your guy Tom Thibodeau over there in New York. Now we have another 10-point game that I don't think is as interesting, but I got to hear your thoughts on it. The Charlotte Hornets, they're at the end of this road trip. They take on the Clippers. They're getting 9.5 on a total of 232. Charlotte lost to LA by 11 the other night. They lost to Denver by 25. Before that, they beat the Kings, but if you watched it, it was a terrible performance. And they beat Toronto before that. Of course, that was the walking wounded Toronto. They beat Detroit and they beat Minnesota. So they're beating the weaker teams, but they're struggling against the better teams. The Clippers are a better team. I think that you should lay it in this game. What do you think?
I mean, I lean that way too.
Hmm.
I mean, this Charlotte team's going to get swarmed with defense from this Clippers team.
Hmm.
But on the side and total, I'm staying away from this game altogether. The only thing I like in this game is LaMelo over 5.5 assists.
You like those dimes, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be passing the ball a ton. He plays almost 30 minutes. He's topped that in three of his last 5 games, and then the Clippers are giving up almost 7 assists to point guards over the last 2 weeks.
Hey,
So
does he count as a point guard though?
he runs the point.
Yeah, they have a pretty good situation there. With I think they have 3 solid ball handlers. Although Devontae Graham probably more of an off guard. But to go between Rozier and LaMelo running your offense, they're so different. It's just different looks. I'm looking for this assist right now. Over 5.5, you said, right?
Yep.
I'm in on it. All right. What other thoughts do you have about this game? If I said I was going to lay it with the Clippers, what would you think?
I mean, I don't mind it. I hate laying that many points. Because one of the things, like, they could be up 14 and you're looking good. Starters get pulled, and then just no defense gets played for the final possessions. They win the game by 8.
Yeah.
So that's just a stay away spot for me. I'd say if you pin me down on anything outside of that prop on this game, I'd take the under.
Take the under, huh?
Yeah, 232 is a lot of points. I think defense can get heavy in this game. I think the Clippers could lock them down. And as long as the Clippers don't score a shit ton of points and put up 125 plus, it could stay under.
Yeah, I was just saying, I hope you're counting on the Clippers defense because Charlotte has been a lot of fun. They can score. They put the ball through the hoop. They run a great offense, but hey, they don't defend that well.
Yeah, their defense is not the best at all.
What about a Clippers team total over?
Yeah, I don't mind that look. I'd have to check the number.
120.
Yeah, that's a high number. I don't mind laying that number with a team like Milwaukee. Because if Milwaukee blows them out, we know the bench guys will still shoot threes. They just fling them when they come in the game.
Exactly. And their pace doesn't slow down either.
Yep, with a team like the Clippers, if they blow them out, you're getting like Terrence Mann and some of these other guys off the bench.
You're not a big Terrence Mann guy, huh?
I mean, I like him, but he's not going to sit out there and just chuck up threes for you.
I actually like him, too, for the team, being like a 9th man or whatever.
Yeah, he's a great role player, I think.
Yeah.
Still young. Could still develop. One of them Florida State guys, as we watch them, they're up 23-9 right now. Dominating.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that one on. I have the other game on, but it's a commercial for me right now. Damon wants to know what sites I use. I've been using Bookmaker lately, Damon, because of the minus 108. It just adds up over a while rather than paying the full minus 110. But I also like Bet Online and Bovada. I think Bovada has the best live interface. Number one, the lines are up the most on Bovada, so they're not constantly getting pulled like they do on Bookmaker and Bet Online. And then just the way you can see the score of every game with the lines, it's kind of easier for me when I'm sitting here trying to live bet because I have my 2 TVs, sometimes a third screen, and then with the scores, I can say, okay, this is what I need to be monitoring. Whereas Bookmaker gives me all the lines, but I don't get the scores at the same time. So it's just personal preference. If I could only use one, though, I'd use Bookmaker. Yeah, if you like 5 dimes there at Bet Any Sports, I think it's called Bet Any Sports, and it's essentially the same thing. I actually got away from using them because I got so spoiled with the Bet Online and Bookmaker and Bovada payouts being same days. Like waiting 48 hours just seemed like it was too long. So hopefully that helps, Damon, and RIP to your Aztecs. So I don't see Gregory Russo in the chat today, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. We're going to have to catch him another day.
I'm a little disappointed, but we're going to do his favorite segment anyways. Hopefully he catches this on replay so he can hear his shout out and the official Gregory Russo segment, and that's the best bet segment. But you know what, Tyler? We're pretty efficient today. 5 games in 23 minutes. We're getting the people in and out. They're going to be able to make their bets, make their money, and go back to watching college basketball all day. So why don't you go ahead and give me your best bet, side, total, or prop? I'm going to guess it's going to be a prop. What do you got for us?
I got 2 totals for you, and you know where they're both going.
All right. I love it. We're doing unders. I'm so glad that AP's out of town this weekend because he would not be happy about all these unders you've been playing.
We're going to take that under 230.5 in the Philly game, and then the under in the game getting ready to start here soon, the under 220.5 I see in the Atlanta.
Did I bet that Philly one yet? I did not. All right. So under 230. For Philadelphia. Yep. and under 219.5 for the Lakers.
Yeah, I see 220.5 on FanDuel, but I still like 219.5.
All right, why don't you give out 220 because most of the people who watch the show are using FanDuel regardless. And for those of us on offshores like me, we'll take the point hit, but we're still going to place it. In fact, I'm going to double up with you on the Lakers, and I'm going to hit the under in the first half too.
Cool.
So
What do you got? What's your best
now
bet?
it's time for my best bet. I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I hate to go against the Milwaukee Bucks team, but I'm going to take the 9.5 with the Spurs. I know it's a back-to-back for them, but I just think that this number's too high. The number should be 6 or 7, and I know Milwaukee's been playing well, but with the Spurs team, I just know the type of effort I'm going to get every night. I don't expect them to get blown out. They keep it close. The back door will be in play, even if they lose, and I just think they keep it close. I mean, catch 10.5 points. I mean, the record's only different by 2 games, and they play in the harder conference, right? I mean, Milwaukee hasn't been that impressive this year, even though recently they've been doing better. They've been doing better against bad teams. Let's see how they do against a competent team that's not going to make mistakes. And they don't just give away all those free plays and those free points like the Clevelands do, like the Minnesotas do, like the teams that they've been beating up. So I like the Spurs plus 9.5. Let's see if we can keep it going. I had a great job picking the dog yesterday. Boy, Miami, I'm still a little bitter about that. What happened to the Miami Heat yesterday, Tyler?
I mean, I don't know what happened there. Pacers came to play. They hung 130. How often do they do that?
Yeah, 137. They put 137 up. It was just unreal.
Let me pull back up their shooting splits from yesterday, see how they did. They had to have shot lights out from the field.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
is Karis LeVert that good? Is that what we're
50,
taking away from this?
58% from the field and 56% from three. They hit 23s.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the new NBA, right? I mean, you just look at 3-point shooting and you can tell not only who wins, but who covers. It's the reason why the margins of victory are getting higher and higher. And just the games are becoming less competitive because if you can't keep up from behind the arc, you have no shot anymore. So some people like it, some people don't. I'm rather indifferent to it. I enjoy the old basketball. I enjoy the way that they're playing now. Um, but boy, what did you think of Karis LeVert? And do you think that he was like the difference there? And do you think I could start back in Indiana? Because I love this team, and you know that they were doing quite well for me earlier in the season, and then they betrayed me by playing really poorly. Can I start back in Indiana again?
I mean, I think so. I think he's a great piece. He fits that team perfectly.
Yeah,
Another defensive guy too, and he gives you another scoring option.
yeah.
And he's not how Oladipo was when he showed back up. It was like he needs the ball in his hands to
Uh-uh.
where like Levert's kind of like I'll go play like off ball to where like we can let the offense still run how it works, and I'll just
Yep.
kind of like integrate into the system.
And if
I
you
think
take the extra attention that he's getting, and then you translate that over to how Malcolm Brogdon's doing, I think
I mean,
Brogdon's
yeah,
got to be.
Brogdon's playing great.
Yeah, he's got to be a look now when you're filling out these lineups and you're and the Pacers are playing that evening, right? Because with the extra attention Levert's getting, Brogdon's definitely taking advantage of it because sometimes he's not even drawing the best defender anymore, right? So
Yep,
before, when both those guys were hurt, Brogdon had to go against the best wing defender almost every night. Obviously, they can get off it with the new lazy switching system they use in the NBA, but still, it takes a pick. It requires you to get set up. Now, a lot of times, and I don't think it's necessarily even the wrong move, right? Brogdon's drawing the second best defender, and they're giving their best perimeter defender to Levert. So um, that'll be something to look forward to. Not sure if we'll be back tomorrow. Most likely, we'll just take it off with college basketball taking center stage. Then we'll be back Monday. And Tyler, you'll be back with me what day? Wednesday or Thursday?
yep, right around there, Wednesday or Thursday.
All right, TTR. So unfortunately, our guy TTR is going to give us thumbs down for the next 3 days. But TTR, if you're watching and you need more access to Tyler, go on over to runpurebets.com, become a member, $60 a month. Bets 25 off is going to be the promo code that you're going to use. And TTR, check this out. You don't need a thumbs down anymore. You have access to Tyler all the time. You have a question about a prop. throw it in the Discord. You got a question about a side or a total, something he said on the show, or hey, maybe he wasn't on the show, and you say, hey, I don't care what spread thinks. I want to know what Tyler thinks. Was he right to take the points with the 9.5? Tyler's going to do his best to get in there, answer the questions every day. As well as our guys HTP. I'm in there as well. If you at me, I will respond usually very quickly. We got JJ and Joey work in the chat for college basketball. We got Score with D, just basically running the soccer chat, giving out great plays every day for those of us who don't follow soccer but still want a little footy action. We can tail Score with these plays, and also you get access to the Keg live show. So Tyler, how was Keg Live last night? Was it a nice, uneventful evening? What would you say was going on in the show last night on Keg Live?
We'll just call it a wild experience, and you have to be a subscriber to know what happened last night.
So if you're not a subscriber but you know one, ask them to find out what happened on the video, and let's just say that there was gorilla suits involved on the Keg Live show. It was wild. It was a lot of fun. I couldn't believe my eyes. So you'll get access to all that as a member of RunPureBets.com. If you also want access to the DFS for $100 a month, you get access to both sites. You'll get access to all the cores of the winners. Gosh, those guys are shipping left and right, right? Big T shipped again last night. Hoop shipped again last night. You'll get access to AP's core, JSU's core. JSU even won. He only won like 10K. He doesn't even no one even notices, right? Because it's so low. JSU was able to put together another winning core last night. So get access to all of it. The code for that is Heater25. So bets 25 off or Heater25 get you a discount, get you in for your first month, because we're sure once you join, you become a part of the community. Have fun in the Discord and catch this TTR. Get 24/7 access to Tyler Hicks answering your questions about NBA props and totals. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Tyler, do you got anything else for everybody before we get out of here?
Nope. That's all we got for today.
All right.
Just waiting for some games to start.
Most likely, we'll go ahead and we'll secede to March Madness, unless Tyler and I just wake up like feeling crazy tomorrow. We'll be on here. But otherwise, I'll be back at Monday, 1 o'clock Eastern, giving you guys more winners. Bets 25 off is the code. Run.